Now, gradable and non-gradable adjectives. What is this? Let's check. Now, when we talk about gradable adjectives, we are referring to those adjectives that have some levels of quality of that quality, right? If we say hot, we know that the adjective hot has certain levels, right? You can have like warm, hot, what boiling, and any other one you can have with hot. Most adjectives are gradable. It means that most of them can have different levels, right? Good. For example, things can be wet, they can be cold, they can be interesting or disappointing, right? To different degrees. How do you know the degrees? You can use them, right? You can use with them adverbs quite, very, or terribly, right? Quite is like the lowest level, very it's like the average one, and terribly can be one of the high levels of these grades, these adjectives. Now, how can you state the levels? Simple. You can have weaker or downtoner emphasizer, let's call it, or stronger or intensifiers, right? With these ones. For example, you have she was quite angry. This is weaker, right? If you say really, that would change it to one strong intensifier, right? Like in this ones. The film was last night was funny, right? But if you include really, you are giving it a stronger meaning, right? Like you really enjoyed it. Or like this one, it can be extremely cold in Russia in the winter. You can just simply say it can be cold in Russia, right? But if you want to emphasize the conditions, like they are very extreme, you can use this other modifier, right? And here you have a short list of some of the most common modifiers you have, right? Good. With some of the combinations you have, a little angry, pretty angry, quite angry, really very angry, extremely angry. So you can combine them, right? You can have all of these modifiers with all of these adjectives. A little expensive, a bit expensive, pretty expensive, that's not a problem, right? It just depends on the level you want to like emphasize. Then we had non-gradable adjectives. What are these? Right? These express two things. One, extreme qualities, like the ones we have here, terrified, furious, and starving. Absolute qualities, alive, correct, dead, male, and human. Now, when we talk about non-gradable and they express this, it means that there is no other level after these ones, right? If you go back and we check with the gradables, you can have quite wet, very wet, terribly wet. It's like level 1, level 2, level 3. But in the case of these ones, after terrified, that's it. You do not have another level, right? Same case for fear. This is like the highest level you have, the highest degree you have, right? Same case for this one because you cannot be more than alive. If you're alive, that's it. That no more than that, right? And with this, we only use intensifiers that express two things. One, extreme or absolute nature, right? We do not use very, quite, without toners. We only use the one that sound like stronger, right? For example, this one. He's usually terrified. You don't say he's very terrified because there is no other level. This usually is telling you that there is no other level for this adjective. That's it. That's the last step, right? No more than that. Or this one. She's completely dead. Can you be fairly dead? Can you be dead a little? No. If you're dead, you're gone. That's it, right? That's why we call them extreme or absolute because there is no more than these levels. And here you have a small short table with some of the absolute modifiers, right? The ones we're using here, these ones, and which are these are the most common ones. And then you have the ones with extreme modifiers. And again, you can actually combine these three modifiers with all of these adjectives. There are more. The same case here, absolutely and really with all of these. And again, careful because there may be many more.